Welcome to the Brother Henry and You Show. I am your host, Henry Harris. Well, hello everyone. I am your host, Henry Harris, and you're watching the Brother Henry and You Show. I'm so grateful that you've taken this opportunity to watch today, for we have an amazing subject, an amazing program for you today, and we're going to talk about, can pornography destroy a relationship? Can pornography destroy a relationship? Now, this is a subject that I've never covered before, especially as it relates to pornography. So first of all, I want to let all of you know, for many people, this is a struggle. Many people have an addiction to pornography. I just want you to hear my heart for a minute. Like, there's no judgment here. I was exposed to pornography at a very early age, and I understand that it can be a struggle throughout somebody's life. It can turn into an addiction. So there's no judgment here. I just want to just come to talk about it from the perspective of a relationship. And even if you do have an addiction or a struggle to it, there is help. So today I would like to discuss a subject that is, quite frankly, I don't believe a subject that I've ever discussed before on my show. This is the question that I have been asked throughout the years. And that is, can porn destroy relationships? I've had many people, specifically women, will come to me with their stories. Maybe they caught their husband or their boyfriend watching porn or watching porn. And it made them feel some kind of way. It made them feel like they were unloved and unwanted and feeling inadequate. Am I not good enough? I mean, what's wrong with my body? We're going to get more into that too. Those are just some of the effects that we put people through when we engage in such activities such as pornography. And I believe that that is a very great question, and I'm glad that many of you have raised that question with me over the years. Can pornography destroy a relationship? So in today's program, I want to just kind of take my time and just collect my thoughts and share my thoughts on this subject. And before we dive into today's lesson, I want to make a couple things clear. This message is not done with the intent to judge anyone who is involved in watching pornography. So if you watch porn, I don't judge you. Secondly, what you do in your private life is not my business. Now, this is what I always tell people. Now, if what you're doing is hurting someone or causing pain to someone, it is my business, because I don't want that person to be hurt. But ultimately, what you do in your bedroom, in your home, is not my business. But I do believe that there comes a time where when we see a potential threat or when we see danger, especially to a relationship, I feel called to address it. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to address it. We're going to talk about it. I want to also say that I'm not also encouraging people to watch porn. Many people may watch it and say, Brother Henry's promoting people to watch porn. I'm not, but do you really need my permission? You don't need my permission. But the intent of today's show is to address how it can and has destroyed many relationships. So I feel that it's worth a discussion, don't you? Do you feel it's worth a discussion? Now, many people have invested hours into watching porn. And some, I may say, could even be addicted to it. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. I would know that feeling all too well because I was exposed to pornography at a very early age. I remember everything from the videos to the Playboy magazines. I remember all that stuff at an early age. Over time, as you get older, you start to believe that what you were exposed to is somehow a part of you, in the sense that you think it's okay because it's a part of me. It's a part of my childhood. It's what I was exposed to. And it's almost like a drug in a sense that the thing that you were exposed to is almost like I need more of it. So we go back to whatever it is that will help us to fill that void. While that was a struggle of mine in the past, I can say that as of today that I haven't had any issues with it. Partly because I realized that it really isn't worth it. Ask yourself today, is it really worth it? It's not really worth it. Yes, that don't mean that there aren't times where I may feel tempted. That don't mean that I'm perfect. That don't mean that I have all my ducks in a row, so to speak. But at the same time, I have evolved in such a way to know better. I have evolved in such a way to know that that's not who I really am, and that's not something I want to participate in or something that I want a part of my life. Because in so many ways, I feel like it stunts my growth. Now, that's just me. Your story may be different. Yes, there is fulfillment. There is fulfillment when you watch pornography. There is self-gratification. But at the end of the day, I was feeling as though it was hindering me from living my life to the fullest. And that's why a lot of people watch pornography, because there's fulfillment to it or certain sensations you may get. Those things are just temporary. What do you have to sustain you after all those emotions and feelings that you have attached to pornography is gone? Now, I can honestly say that, yes, I have been in some relationships in my life. I've even been married. But I can honestly say that I've never had this issue in my relationships. However, I have heard many people say that pornography has destroyed their marriages and their relationships. That's why I feel this is worth a discussion. I didn't even realize how it can destroy not only relationships, but it can even destroy your morals, your character, your reputation, and your value and everything that you've ever believed in. There are many people who may struggle and watch porn consistently. But is this safe to do while you're in a relationship? Some people watch it consistently. Is it safe to do while you're in a relationship? Is this okay? My answer personally would be no. Why? Because if you're spending all your time watching porn, when it does come time for you to be intimate with your partner, you will have absolutely nothing to offer. You're going to be empty. You're not going to have nothing to offer. Why? Because you have invested all that time that you're supposed to be having with your spouse or your wife or your partner. Now you're giving all that attention to what you see on the computer screen or your iPad or your laptop or however you may watch it. Because you have invested all of your time and commitment to watching it. Whatever you could have received from your partner, now you find that through what you see on the stream. And let me tell you, whatever it is that you are watching on the stream is a temporary fix. I love that old song that says, "Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing." How many of y'all love that song? Know that? How many of y'all know that song? I love that song. And it is very fitting for this subject and this show because it is true. There ain't nothing like the real thing. And being in a real relationship with a man or a woman in that experience, not what you're watching behind the screen, because the reality of it is that's just an illusion. That's not really real. It may feel real to you in that moment. I'm speaking from experience. It may feel real to you in that moment. It may feel real to you. You may feel like that's you in that video. But to me, that's just not real. It may feel real in your imaginations, because that's where pornography starts, in your imaginations, but it is a betrayal, especially if you're in a relationship. It may feel real to you in your imagination, but it is a betrayal to the person that you're with and to your partner. It can create a lot of issues, not just intimately, but mentally and spiritually and psychologically and emotionally. I can't tell you the number of people, mostly women, who tell me my husband or my boyfriend won't touch me anymore or do anything with me because he's so fixated on porn. It really saddens me to hear this, but you have to ask yourself, do they see an issue that's affecting your intimate life? Do they even see that as a problem or as an issue? Is it possible to be so addicted to porn that many don't even see the harm that they themselves are creating? And unfortunately and sadly, many of them don't. And many of them do see it and just don't care. So based off of my research, pornography has been shown to weaken commitments in marriages and relationships. Why? Because it creates utterly false impressions of what a normal body looks like and what sexual behavior is all about. A lot of women particularly really struggle with this. If they're with a man that's so involved in porn, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in a few minutes, they literally will look at that. This explains those who participate in this, why they watch it. And then expect their spouse to either look or maybe even do some of the things that they are seeing, nor is it a reality. Many people, especially women, also tell me that they feel rejected, they feel unloved, they feel unwanted, and asking themselves, what the hell is wrong with me? You have all of this, and you're going to a pornography to watch that, and then you go look at that and you expect me to perform and do what they're doing? That is such a betrayal. I don't care what they're doing. They could be hanging from the chandeliers as far as I care, or rolling on the floor, or tying them up, whatever your fantasies may be. You can't look at that and say, well, I'm going to try to get my wife to do that. I'm going to try to get my wife to look that way, or my girlfriend to do that. You can't do that. That is a betrayal to them, and they are not them. And what you see on there is not realistic. Yes, it's real. They're actually doing that. But I'm just saying, in real life, in real time, that's just not realistic, and it doesn't happen. So it leaves a lot of women feeling like, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with my body? Is there something I'm not doing right? What is so wrong with me that he can't come to me for the gratification that he looks for on the computer screen? Let me answer it, my friend. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with your body. The issue is not with you, it's with them. And until they get help, it will just be a repeated cycle. I don't know who I'm talking to today. It will just be a repeated cycle in your relationship or marriage, leaving you feeling neglected and rejected. A repeated cycle. He's not going to change. I believe porn violates the intimacy of love in a relationship and creates unrealistic expectations and standards. It most certainly does. And studies also show that watching porn decreases sexual pleasure. And also, especially those who are addicts. They desire to watch it even more than they want to be intimate with a real partner. And I believe that trust should be at the core of any marriage, at the core of any relationship. And if you know that you struggle in this area, just be upfront with your partner about it. Don't carry it into the marriage or into the relationship and secretly thinking that it will just disappear, because the reality of it is it won't. I've often said just be real going in. If you know you struggle with pornography, just say, hey, I'm just going to let you know this straight up. This is my struggle. I struggle with pornography. Just be real going in. Maybe she'll hang around, maybe she won't. Likely chances of her hanging around probably won't. There's an extreme level of hurt caused by finding out your partner has been watching porn, because some even consider it as cheating. Is it? Asking you that question. Do you think watching porn when you're in a marriage or relationship is as cheating? Don't allow it to ruin your marriage or your relationship. William Paul Young, the author of The Shack, quoted this: porn is the imagination of a relationship without the risk of a real one. Can I say it again? Porn is the imagination of a relationship without the risk of a real one. Once again, no judgment here. We all have struggles. So if you have an addiction to porn, and if you're in a relationship, there is help out there. Also, once again, this message is not a bashing session. It's not a bashing message. If you watch porn, I am not judging you. But the overall theme of today's show is to cause us to look into our own lives and see what we could be doing that could harm not only your relationship, but your intimate life. I do realize that this is a very sensitive subject. Like I said, it's a subject I've never covered before, and many people may feel slightly uncomfortable. And many people have their own opinions about it, but I believe that today's message will shed light and expose areas that needs to be exposed. Not to embarrass you or to hurt you, but to bring you to healing and restoration from that. And to start walking towards a path of healing and wholeness. So my encouragement to you today that are watching is to pursue a deeper love for God. Express to Him your struggles. Talk to a friend. Talk to a therapist, because there is an issue. This is an issue that many people are ashamed to discuss, but opening up about it to someone could really be helpful at the end of the day. I hope you enjoyed today's program. We will see you next week.
We hope you have enjoyed today's program. We want to connect with you. Visit us at facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show, or visit us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Henry Harris 100. We're so grateful you tuned in today and hope you have a fantastic day.